Welcome to Previously on X-Men, the podcast that looks at X-Men comics, movies, shows, characters, and more. I'm Hilary.
And I'm Eric.
And we have a special Christmas episode today. Yay!
Yay, because the X-Men animated series had a special Christmas episode.
It's like the most Christmassy of episodes, man. They went for it.
I don't know what the time frame is supposed to be in this show, but we'll talk
about that. What do you mean?
That. Well, throughout the episode, Jubilee is like, this is my first Christmas with the X-Men. This is my first Christmas in a real home. And it's like,
that's true.
How long has it been since episode 1 to this? I mean, is this all like almost a year?
Yeah, because they do have actual like storyline things because like Storm is in charge of the Morlocks.
Yeah.
So all of that has happened. So it's not like a flashback.
The first season is like one long story, so we could say that's like maybe a couple of weeks. Maybe that first season takes place within a month. Season 2, how long do you think Professor X was in the Savage Land? And then season 3 is just the Dark Phoenix saga, and then, I guess it could be that we are still in the same year that Jubilee joined the team.
That's wild. That would be pretty crazy. That's assuming there's like zero downtime for these people.
Yeah. The 5 seasons of the X-Men animated series are just a year in a life.
Yep. You know what? I'm going to allow it.
Yep.
I'm just going to accept it and move on. That's what I'm going to do.
Have you noticed that our life has gotten a lot more complicated since Jubilee joined?
Interesting. What is the common denominator in this situation? Okay, so anyway, we're talking about the animated series episode, Have Yourself, now I'm going to say it right this time, Have Yourself a Morlock Little Christmas.
But the title is Xmas.
Oh, it is? Well, yeah, that makes sense.
So it's frustrating because I would just say Have Yourself a Merry Little Xmas, but they wanted to replace Merry with Morlock while also replacing Christmas with Xmas, and it's just too busy.
This one aired in December 23rd, 1995.
Wow, look at them releasing it on time.
Right in there, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's directed by Larry Houston, written by Eric Lewald and Larry Parr. Have we had a Larry Parr before?
He wrote part 3 of the Dark Phoenix saga.
Oh, okay.
And that was a 4-parter. Okay, so he wrote the episode where she was really just going to town with Dark Phoenix powers.
Okay, so Dark Phoenix and then Happy Dancy Christmas Time.
But we've also talked about him because he was a writer on Pride of the X-Men.
Oh, I should have remembered that one. That's important.
He did a lot more writing in the 80s. He wrote, 16 episodes of Plastic Man.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah. 7 episodes of the 80s Spider-Man cartoon and some Transformers, some Fraggle Rock, some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. After this, he kind of stops.
Oh, this is his swan song.
Yeah, he shows up 1 or 2 more times, but really it was the 80s and then this. So
sorry, Larry Parr. You had a good run.
56 episodes of Defenders of the Earth.
Wow. He seems like he had a pretty decent career, so good for him.
Yeah.
I have some Christmas facts.
Ooh,
are you ready for some Christmas facts?
Yeah.
Okay, so in this, Callisto is voiced by Susan Roman, who does her before. She'll be back next time as Scarlet Witch, but she voiced Tinsel in the Miser Brothers Christmas.
The Miser Brothers Christmas?
Which I think is like a TV special.
Okay.
So that's one Christmas connection. Then Leech, John Stalker, who plays Leech, and I don't know if he actually talks in this one, but that's him. He voices Curls in the TV special BC, A Special Christmas, based on the comic strip BC. Do you know that comic strip?
Oh, yeah.
The one where they're all like cavemen or something?
I remember BC, yes.
I didn't know that there was like a animated thing.
I don't remember that at all.
But apparently it exists, and Leech was part of it.
Huh. No memory of that show existing.
All right.
Do you remember when the Saturday morning cartoon blocks would do like a semi-themed thing, like for the holidays or something else? Like you had like 3 hours of like Batman doing a Christmas episode, X-Men doing a Christmas episode, Power Rangers doing a Christmas episode.
I don't remember that specifically, but I do remember, that kind of thing that they would do them as like a unit.
Yeah. Saturday morning cartoon blocks. That was like...
It's gold.
Yeah.
It's gold.
There were so many shows I just watched because they were between shows I was planning to watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what they count on.
Yeah. I guess I'm into Big Guy and Rusty now because it's
what else am I going to do? Read a
Digimon.
book?
Yeah.
All right. So shall we get into this fabulous Christmas episode?
Yep. It's the Christmas episode of the X-Men animated series. And it opens at the mansion with...
Shot right on the Christmas tree, right? It's like a close-up of the Christmas tree at the mansion.
Rogue, Cyclops, and Jubilee are decorating the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve. People
and they're
do that.
singing. They're singing Christmas carols, Eric.
No music is playing, no vinyl is in the corner, it's just the three of them.
They're just like... La.
Yeah. Cyclops can't sing.
And Cyclops is terrible, and they all make fun of him.
Yep. I wonder if that was the voice actor, like he really couldn't sing. They're like, let's throw this in.
Oh my word, it's so funny.
He's like, stop it!
But you're right, it is. It's Christmas Eve and they're decorating the tree. Like, my tree has been decorated since... Yeah. I don't think it was Thanksgiving. It was like the week after Thanksgiving.
People do it, but you know what? I feel like I say that, but the only people I have ever seen decorate a tree on Christmas Eve are people on TV.
Yeah. It's because they want it all to be at once. But I do sort of feel like it's a bit of an old-fashioned thing. Maybe like back when they would only have like real trees, they would like go out and chop it.
Yeah, you have to
decorate it and then like throw it in the fire.
Yeah, you get it for 2 days because other than that, it's a fire hazard.
Oh, the past.
So a big running thing through this episode is that Jubilee has not had a real home for Christmas her entire life, and this is the first time that she's really got to experience Christmas in the traditional American sense, I guess.
Yeah, like a typical American Christmas like she saw on TV kind of thing.
Yeah, and they talk about that a lot. So this is the first time in a long while, I feel like, that Jubilee growing up, in foster families and stuff has been brought up.
Yeah, sort of since the beginning. I mean, I think that periodically there'll be like a mention here or there, but yeah, this is like really dwelling on it. Have we seen Jubilee in a while?
I can't remember the last time we saw her like in an episode. Like
I was like happy to see her.
Yeah, I feel like she's been in the background, but this is the first time she's had a moment.
Yeah, we get to have some fun stuff with her and Wolverine and him being a softie.
For those of you who bet against it, bad news, Logan is grumpy on Christmas.
Oh,
people place their bets that Logan's actually a very happy person on Christmas.
It could have gone the other way. Maybe he's like weirdly obsessed with Christmas. Like, we don't know.
It's the only time of year. Well, yeah.
He just lights up.
Yeah. This is the year he's accepted Christ into his heart, so it means even more.
Yeah, it means so much more to him now.
I get it now.
Nightcrawler needs to pop in here.
Yeah. Guten Tag, Herr Wolverine.
Merry Christmas. Okay, so they decorate the tree, and we see that Wolverine is grumpy.
Yes, but here's your favorite part of this whole episode, and you wish it was just
30
minutes. You wish it was just 30 minutes of this. Jean and Gambit are cooking in the kitchen, and they're not getting along.
Well, it's so funny. I mean, I'm going to say Jean gets a little more, like, legitimately angry than I would prefer. But it is very funny.
I guess she's coming off the Dark Phoenix stuff still.
She's still tweaking.
At one point, she calls Gambit she's like, get this swamp rat out of here. It's like, whoa!
She's been listening to Rogue.
Yeah, Jean, you have to share a stock pot, but you shouldn't call him a swamp rat. But it just seems like Gambit just wants to add some seasoning to stuff.
He wants to help. Well, I like that it's that. Like, Jean is doing stuff and he wants to just season it. But then by the end of it, he's just like wearing an apron and like has taken over the entire situation.
Yeah. Well, it seems at the end, too, he says, I've been making this dinner for days.
For days? How long has this episode been?
I don't know. They're just sharing a kitchen. It's just funny because Gambit would be, out of all the guys in the mansion, it would be Gambit that I'd expect to see in the kitchen doing that.
Oh, I can totally see him being a cook.
And,
yeah.
Yeah, Jean and him just butting heads. It's just like it's a dynamic that I don't think we've ever seen. I can't even think of like scene the two of them have together in the past.
Yeah, and they just like really go for it. I don't know if they would have had Jean pegged as a cook.
Yeah,
she feels a little more like in her head about stuff. She doesn't really seem like I'm a chef.
But I don't know. They always play her as like the domestic housewife of the characters.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What else is she going to do on Christmas?
If somebody had to lift somebody, yeah. Jean is the character in this show that would be like, can you lift your feet up? I need a vacuum under the ottoman. And then she would use her powers to lift up the ottoman.
Oh, yeah. No, that's right. She doesn't ask them to lift. She just lifts the whole thing, the whole chair and everything, the whole person.
Yeah.
I want to see Gambit and Wolverine fighting in the kitchen. That's what I want.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Wolverine's just trying to do like a meatloaf.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, real simple. As everybody's doing that, Beast is doing experiments. I don't know what Beast
That's right, yeah.
do. It explodes later on.
But he's hanging upside down and he's doing, because it's like a punch or something. He's trying to make Christmas punch. It's just like showing everybody doing different Christmas things.
He's making punch. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Beast.
Normal thing to do. You're fine.
Yeah, Storm and Professor X are just watching the X-Men on the thing, but Storm is wearing this striped dress that I am here for.
I liked it. Nick walked through the room and he was like, I hate Storm's dress.
Oh man. There's something about this, like sometimes we'll see the other characters in different outfits, which is nice, but I feel like Storm is the one that gets the most wow, where'd this come from, Storm?
Yeah, I think she's got the fullest wardrobe. I think that they see her as such like in touch with her body type person, and she's just like always doing cool stuff.
Because later we see her in this like really fuzzy coat.
Yeah. Oh, Storm.
She's just a stylish lady on this show.
She's stylish. She knows what she likes.
I wonder if Storm would like me. I don't think so.
Storm would tolerate you, Eric.
Yeah, that's it.
She'd be like, oh, yes. Hello, Eric. How are you?
Hi, Storm. Hi.
Go sit down, please, Eric.
Okay. There's an explosion, and who says it? Is it Storm? She's like, "Are we under attack on Christmas
like alarms.
Eve?"
Yeah, because alarms start going.
Yeah, like Sabretooth would be like, "Well, I can't attack them. It's Christmas Eve.
It's Christmas Eve. Even I'm not that much of a jerk." But yeah, because Xavier is like opining about how beautiful it is to have his, team or whatever.
Is the happiest Christmas he's ever had. So maybe this is the first Christmas the X-Men have ever had.
I think that's what we are to expect from this current situation. Yeah. But they're not under attack. It's just Beast's whatever thing has exploded.
Now Jubilee wants to go shopping and ask Wolverine to come because Wolverine's like, I gotta get out of here. I can't stand this Christmas cheer. It's making me sick. I'd rather fight Sabretooth.
He's being such a jerk. Let's say this is a year. He's been living with them for a year and like getting to know them and everybody's happy and stuff. And like, he can't just like shut up about Christmas for a second. He's like, I want to be murdering someone right now. This is stupid.
He needs to be visited by 3 ghosts. Who would the ghost Christmas past, present, and future in the X-Men be?
Oh boy. Well, I mean, Nightcrawler has to be someone, right?
He's present.
Present, I think you're right. Yeah.
Well, but present's always big. Present can like change size, so now I guess it should be Apocalypse.
Apocalypse is the ghost of Christmas present.
Yeah.
So
mutant and know me better.
Should they all be villains then?
Yeah.
So past could be like
Sabretooth is future.
Sabretooth is future. Past is what? Mystique?
Boy, maybe it's just little posh Canadian young Wolverine. The one who wore his little night dress.
Oh, yes. Yep, You're right. That should definitely be Christmas past. Perfect. We've cast it. I don't know why they didn't do it. It's golden.
Anywho, Jubilee wants to go shopping on Christmas Eve at the mall, and I'm with Wolverine on this one.
Yeah.
It's like, that's crazy.
I like his reaction. He's like, you don't know. You don't know what you're getting into.
Yep.
But so because she manipulates him at the very end. She's like, please. And he's like, oh, why are you killing me? Which I always enjoy his weakness for Jubilee.
Yeah, because he does say, like, I'd have a better chance fighting off Sabretooth.
Yeah.
So they go to the mall, Storm, Jubilee, and Wolverine. It's crowded and stuff, and Wolverine's like, I need to go.
Family.
Yeah, it's funny because they get a moment where they can see the door, and Storm says, go, Wolverine, escape while you can.
Yeah.
Which cracks me up, because she gets him.
She does. They're married in another world.
They go ice skating, but then
they're having just an adorable little family Christmas, and I am here for it. I want Storm and Wolverine to adopt Jubilee.
Oh my goodness.
And they'll just live a happy life while Jean and Gambit fight in the kitchen.
It is the two that Jubilee always seems the most close to.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about Jean being like the domestic-y type, but Storm really does end up kind of being like the mom.
Yeah, the active mom. The mom.
She's like caring and maternal.
Yeah. But an ambulance crashes through and Storm catches it with her wind powers and it turns out
launches it into the air.
Yep. Turns out some Morlocks have hijacked an ambulance and are stealing from it, and Wolverine says a lot of mean things about the Morlocks, which doesn't seem like
really like racist things.
I guess he's like, I thought I smelt the sewer. It's like, these people live in the sewer, right? You're being really mean.
You're being really, really mean.
Yeah.
Wolverine is ready to attack. Storm is being a little more understanding, and they're like, please, we need help because Leech is sick.
Yep. And so the X-Men go with them. And is this only the second time the Morlocks have been in an episode?
I guess I feel like I've seen that old lady.
No, you're sorry. They were in that Lady Deathstrike episode.
Yes, that's right.
I just feel like we haven't seen them a lot, which is part of the through line here with Storm in that she is a bad Morlock leader.
Like a really bad Morlock leader. And I feel like the Morlocks really go after her about it, but she doesn't really super cop to it. Like she just sort of, like she handles it eventually, but she's just sort of like, well, I'm your leader and shut up.
Well, that's like inherent with the Morlock concept in that it's an interesting concept, but it doesn't make the X-Men look good to be like, well, enjoy your sewer life. We're going to go live in our mansion. In our
mansion with our like leader who has immense disposable income, pay for you to do whatever.
Even if you make the case that the Morlocks themselves might say like, no, we don't even want to live in the mansion. We're going to stay down here until the world can accept us. That still doesn't excuse the fact that the X-Men don't bring the Morlocks supplies on a regular basis.
Listen, maybe they do. Let's just say they do. And we just don't see it happen.
If they do and they haven't for Christmas...
Yeah, it's true. It's true. When they show that little Christmas tree, I'm like, you guys are the worst.
Yeah.
They have this little garbage Christmas tree, and you're just dancing around up top.
It just seems like the X-Men's mission, besides like defending, would also be outreach.
It does seem that way, doesn't it?
And anyway, I just feel like it's never addressed correctly in the comics or in this that the X-Men should be I mean, the Morlocks always call them out for it, but the X-Men never step up to it.
Never, ever. And it wouldn't even be hard. It's not even like they have like,
I know,
we don't have the resources. You have only resources.
Yeah, you live in a mansion.
What happens to the Morlocks in the Krakoa era?
I don't know. I'm not that far in the Krakoa era.
I don't think I've seen a Morlock.
Well, maybe they hate
like wandering around. They're just still living in the sewer under New York City.
I don't know. People who are paying more attention to the Krakoa era are definitely mad at you right now for saying that.
Well, I don't know.
They're like, Callisto's been there the whole time.
I have not seen Callisto. I've read a bunch of things in the Krakoa era.
All right.
I'm just saying I haven't seen her, not that she's not there. Okay, angry listener.
Anyway, It turns out Leech, the Morlock, is sick. Leech, Hilary, his name is Leech.
Yes, I know his name is Leech. As soon as you said it, I was like, yes, Leech. Of course, Leech is who I meant. Eric.
All right. So the issue is we find out Leech had went looking for the Christmas tree and stuff, and he got sick in the cold, and that's why he's dying.
Okay, so I wasn't paying a huge amount of attention just to them explaining this, and I sort of assumed that there was some like actual disease that he
it's
had.
Probably something more serious than that, but the little girl Morlock that hangs out with Jubilee says Leech got that before he got sick from the cold.
Huh. Okay, so maybe they're just lying to that child.
I don't. Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't worry. It's
the cold. Wear your jacket.
So yeah, we get a tour of.
Leech has syphilis.
Oh my word. Jubilee's base. It's interesting that Jubilee is having her eyes opened. It's like somebody visits the homeless shelter for the first time during Christmas.
Yes.
Except for the fact that nobody's supplying these Morlocks with anything either. So, but Jubilee's like, this is all you have to eat, and they're like, would you like some? And she's like, ah.
Yeah, she's having a moment.
Yeah, and she can't. She's very upset because Leech might die on Christmas Eve, and I'm kind of like, well, people die every day, Jubilee. Death doesn't care what holiday it is.
Not on Christmas Eve, Eric.
Yeah.
But it's a very classic, like, teen, like, moment, you know? Like, the unfairness of life is, like, hitting her for the first time.
But she, at the beginning of the episode, she talks about how this is her first real Christmas, like, she hasn't had one. She hasn't had a star like this to put on a tree before. So I'm just kind of surprised that she's having her eyes open to those less fortunate.
No, yeah, that's true. It's not like she's been, like, raised with a silver spoon in her mouth or whatever that is.
I don't know. Maybe this is a lesson in one of those crappy lessons where, like, you think you have it bad, some people have it worse. Like, that's supposed to help anybody.
I mean, it's true. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that's such a cop-out anything. It's such, anytime somebody's, like, sad or having an issue, that whole, like...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, other people have it worse.
Be happy because other people are suffering more.
You're right. I mean, some people lost their whole family in a car accident. I only lost my mom. Oh, well.
What am I doing?
So the big dramatic thing is that they want to do a blood transfusion with Wolverine because his healing power may help Leech. And Wolverine seems really hesitant about it. And I don't know what they're referencing because he's like, it's worked twice. Once,
yeah, they pack in some weird backstory that seems to come out of nowhere.
The second time, I don't, and it's just like, what is it? So I don't know if should I know what this is with my X-Men reading?
I guess I feel like, well, first of all, I feel like if you don't, then it's not a thing. Because you have a weird encyclopedic knowledge, but also it has the feel of something that they just like put in for the sake of the story. Like they just were like, we need a reason for him to be hesitant. But I don't super understand why they would jump to him. Like why would they think that a transfusion of his blood would do anything at all?
Yeah, because he says like sometimes it works. It's worked twice, so he's tried it other times.
Yeah.
And Beast says, like Wolverine's healing ability is miraculous, but we can't really decipher it. So like that he's explaining away why it works and why it doesn't work sometimes. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It depends. We don't know what he's sick with, so we don't know why.
Right.
They need that versus anything else. But even Wolverine's like, this kid can't go to the hospital. He's about to die. Yeah.
I did like that where Storm is like, hey, Wolverine, you have field med knowledge, so you get in here. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, well, Storm and Wolverine have a good dynamic in this whole part because Wolverine is really hesitant and frustrated and everything, and Storm is very like, no, we're doing this. You need to do this and stuff.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of people able to push Wolverine around.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the gist of the story. Wolverine does it. They don't think it works, but then the other X-Men show up and Beast says it worked.
Yeah, and that's kind of it.
And then Jubilee is like, let's give them all the presents I bought. It's mostly food anyways. And the X-Men are like, what a great thing you've done. It's like, well, doesn't Professor
Noble.
X have
They call her
so
Noble.
much money?
Like so much money, Eric. Like he has his own secret
I know.
designed jet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. But Jubilee, who's having her first Christmas ever, can give some of the food she bought tonight. Jubilee's the only one who seems to get it.
She is. I'm going to imagine that now this is like the beginning of her forging like a real relationship with the Morlocks. And she comes there once a week and brings them supplies and helps them to come to terms with what they're doing and plan for the future.
Cut to Gambit finding out that dinner's canceled right now. They'll have to heat it up. And he's just like, heat it up! What I made you can't heat up!
He cannot right now. Also, though, I feel like a lot of Cajun food is made so you can heat it up. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't it feel like a leftover kind of a thing?
Well, didn't he say he made oysters?
Oh, he made oysters?
I thought he said oysters. Maybe
I didn't
not.
hear that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that oysters would heat up real great.
Yeah, maybe it's a lot of seafood.
But that's when he's wearing. Doesn't he have like a chef's hat?
Yeah, he's
Am
in
I
full
picturing
chef
this wrong?
garb. Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. I can't.
And like at one point we cut back when Jean is yelling to get this swamp rat out of my kitchen. She's holding broccoli like she's gonna club him with it, and Cyclops uses his optic blast to knock it out of her hand. And then it ends with a little title that says "Merry Christmas from all the X-Men."
From all the X-Men. Oh no, we missed a very important part.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Storm does realize she's been a bad leader, so she gives leadership back to Callisto.
But she does it in I feel like it's such a cop-out way, because she's not like, listen, I bit off more than I could chew. You're absolutely right. I have completely neglected this responsibility of mine. Callisto, you really stepped up, so I'm going to just, let you take things from here. No, she's like, Callisto, give me the staff. I now make you the leader of it's just this whole thing, like it's like this gift to her or whatever. And it's like, no, you screwed up bad.
It also doesn't solve any of the problems, because they're like, all the, we're living in poverty and all this stuff because you're a leader. Like, Callisto could still go out and get stuff. So just like changing leadership doesn't now provide the Morlocks with space heaters.
Yes, that is true. Space heaters. That's a good idea.
Storm is just kind of like, not my problem anymore.
Yep. And I'm done. Now I don't have to feel bad about it.
Woohoo! Everything's coming up, Storm.
Merry Christmas. So I guess we don't have to worry about the Morlocks anymore. Jubilee has had her special experience with poverty and is changed as a teenager.
Yeah.
And everybody goes back to the mansion? Do they have like an actual Christmas? No. That's right. They stay because Jubilee and them stay with the Morlocks. And Xavier thanks them for their sacrifice.
Yeah, why invite the Morlocks to your heated mansion with a full course dinner when you could have their brine soup, their sewer soup?
I'm so proud of you for sacrificing your Christmas.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Gambit is just throwing an entire freaking rich person table side, he's just throwing that whole dinner into the garbage, like, well, no one's eating this now.
I like to picture him just going full French, muttering while he's like throwing it out. He's just like.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Morlocks are like, "Thanks for the miniature cupcake."
Thanks so much. Anyway,
I like to imagine that Gambit just uses his powers and blows it all up.
I also like to think that. I think I like that too. So, for the 90s, a pleasant Christmas episode, learning a little bit about poverty.
I have seen this episode twice in my entire life. Once on TV, and then I hated it so much I've never rewatched it. And it was so much better than I remember it.
Well, that's a nice twist.
I guess I remember the Wolverine stuff being a lot more back and forth. I remember the cheesy Christmassy stuff being a lot like the opening at the tree being a lot more prominent, and the stuff with Storm and Wolverine and Julie, like that stuff was just better than I remember.
Yeah. I guess like setting aside the obvious problems with the storyline and the Morlocks and stuff, it was just nice the way that you got to see the different characters interacting and stuff. It was just a fun.
And maybe because I don't know, we have seen stuff rooted in continuity, but there's also something about this that just feels a bit more rooted in the continuity. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I can't quite articulate it, but yeah, that does feel like.
Or maybe it's also that we're coming off of a bunch of two-parters that I felt like were a stretch or didn't really nail the ending.
Mm-hmm. But this wasn't like a standalone in like and now Juggernaut's going to come knock down the mansion kind of way. It was just sort of like I guess maybe the scope of it was nice, that it was like a manageable, small problem. You get to see how they all interact at Christmas. Yeah. It's just a nice little package.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I was surprised while watching it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it had some more serious moments. I mean, I don't know. The X-Men should be able to do Christmas themed stuff well because, they're a surrogate family. And so you get all these people from different things with different experiences. So, like, if the Justice League cartoon can do a killer Christmas episode with Martian Manhunter, the X-Men should be able to,
Yeah, totally. They just have that element, which I love, of just like hanging around at the mansion, watching TV.
Yeah, sorry we had to deal with like a Morlock trauma stuff anyway, and it wasn't just everybody dealing with kitchen stuff or Christmas music.
They could have done. I think they could have nailed a full episode of just Christmas
in the
nonsense.
Yeah,
I really think they could have, but it's fine. Yep. This was also fine.
The three of them having to do emergency shopping at the mall, Gambit and Jean in the kitchen. Maybe Beast is trying to make the Christmas tree extra spectacular, but it keeps blowing up.
Yes. This is what I'm saying.
Rogue wants to kiss Gambit under the mistletoe, but she can't, so she's trying to think of something else.
Just keeps putting mistletoe all over the mansion so that every time they can try something different. Blowing kisses? I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's one. Xavier is missing the entire time, and then at the very end, he comes and turns up and has been like overseas the whole time, getting them some special Christmas gift. And like at the very end, oh, he's back! Oh, the real Christmas gift is having you with us. See, I'm telling you.
Maybe Xavier he goes to visit Magneto real quick. He's like, nobody should be alone today.
Oh, yes! That's like a late on Christmas Eve.
They just grab a cup of coffee and then we'll start our fight tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, this is the best fan fiction.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the Robert De Niro, there's a movie where there's a cop and a bad guy and they get coffee.
Heat,
yeah.
Yes.
It's like that. Xavier and Magneto have coffee like in Heat.
Yep.
Perfect X-Men Christmas episode.
All right.
Print. Okay. So that's that one. I thought it was cute. You also thought it was cute?
Yeah, I just thought it was stronger than I remembered it.
Okay. Well, that's it for that then. Next time, we're going to be back into the regular order of things. We'll be doing Bloodlines and Family Lies.
Right. One's a Quicksilver Scarlet Witch episode, and one is a Nightcrawler Mystique episode.
All right. Interesting. We should save those for like a Mother's Day, Father's Day.
Oh, yeah. The 1-2 punch. Wow, they're right next to each other. That's funny.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you to Prophetic Music for our theme song. Previously on X-Men is brought to you by the Radio Meanwhile Network. The Radio Meanwhile Network has a whole bunch of holiday specials happening right now. So we've got This Endorian Life has the Life Day Treasury. 9021 Here We Go they did a Christmas movie, Time for Her to Come Home for Christmas, which I watched. And I think that they'll have a fun conversation. So that's 9021. Here we go. And the special New Year's edition of Comic Book Coffee Break is coming up. I didn't know you were doing that.
Yeah.
Listen, Eric, I periodically will complain to Nick because I don't get to hear your banter anymore. Like, you guys get to have your fun, cute little conversations in secret, and I don't get to listen to them anymore.
Yeah, but now it's mostly about you and my wife.
Oh, no. No. My wife. Okay, so where was I? Comic Book Coffee Break. Awesome. Then, okay, so follow us on Facebook and be sure to follow the network on Facebook, Instagram and Threads. That's new. For info on all of our shows. Please rate, subscribe, or share this show wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and all of those things.
Bye.
Bye. Have a holly jolly Christmas. Boop-a-doo, boop-boop-a-doo.
Oh, bye.